from the start of tonight's $50,000 Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. We're excited to have you here with us for this edition of Saturday Night Lights during our Wellington International Holiday Series. Discover Arion authentic French saddles dedicated to the performance and freedom of the horse and rider. Arion's mission is to provide top customer service and the ability to create the most customizable saddles on the market. Find us on our website at arion-hst.com. Let your horse feel the difference with Arion.
Technology for faster recovery, ProForce supports your horse's peak performance so they're ready to dominate again. ProForce. Defend. Recover. Perform.
Just a reminder about our Greenberg Traurig exhibitor party. Mike Nicodema and the team at Greenberg Traurig proudly presenting tonight's exhibitor party. Now, their equine industry represents equestrians and industry professionals on the legal matters that impact daily operations and long-term success, from real estate and contracts to employment, tax, branding, and government policy. Also, if you head over this evening, you get a chance to meet Mr. and Mrs. Claus at our exhibitor party. Learn more about their commitment to the Wellington equestrian community at GT Law. Again, we'd like to thank Mike Nicodema and the folks at Greenberg Traurig for their generosity in sponsoring tonight's exhibitor party. We are about 4 minutes away from the top of the order. 6:30, we'll get underway with the $50,000 Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. We'll take a quick view of the track that our horse and rider combinations will take in round one of tonight's $50,000 Grand Prix. We'll start on the International Club side of things, where that exhibitor party is taking place currently at that White Oxer for the Palm Beach County Sports and Commission. It'll be a left-handed turn from there, coming back to the title sponsor fence, the Arion Pillars at fence number 2, airy vertical with the solid blue rails. The Zyko Santa Oxer comes up at fence number 3, the blue striding horse on that white field, and then on the right lead, fence number 4, right by the gate, that Arthur Mid Oxer. Continuing on the right lead, a line on the diagonal comes up next, starting with that Palm Beach Equine Clinic vertical at fence number 5 to the Palm Tree Double Oxer to a vertical at 6AB. Turning left up the ring, the Swan vertical comes up next with that thin marble and black plank on top. Triple combination, or triple bar, pardon me, in front of the blue Ribbon Club, the Florida Coast Equipment fence at number 8. And then down the ring, the triple combination with the butterfly wings, vertical, oxer, vertical at 9 ABC. Slight right-hand bend in the line to that Bainbridge oxer at number 10 with the red, white, and blue Mafia rails. From there, it's a right-handed turn and coming up the outside line on the gallery side of the ring, the Dover Saddlery oxer at 11 to the Horseware Ireland style fence at 12 with the solid yellow or solid red 8-foot rails, and then we'll finish over that black oxer at fence number 13 in front of the jury box. All told, it's 13 numbered fences, a total of 16 jumping efforts over the first round track. The first round course measured at 490 meters, time allowed at 79 seconds. Tonight's course designed by Katsi Cruz. Just moments away from the top of the order, and we will have a singing of the Star-Spangled Banner before we welcome the first of our 39 horse and rider combinations on course this evening. Please welcome fellow equestrian, 2024 USCF Pony Medal Final Champion, 2025 at Taylor Harris Children's Medal Final Reserve Champion, and 2025 South Florida Hunter Jumper Association Medal Final Champion, Carson Karatkin, who will do us the honor of singing the Star-Spangled Banner. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise, if you are able, and remove cover for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bulbs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you to Carson Karatkin for that beautiful rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner ahead of our Arion Sellier National Grand Prix, title sponsor for tonight's Saturday Night Light here at Wellington International as we wrap up our holiday season ahead of the start of the Winter Equestrian Festival in just over a week. We'll see 39 for round 1 against 79 seconds at the time allowed for round number 1 of tonight's Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. We got underway with Elise Stevens, our first rider in the order, 19-year-old rider kicking things off. Elise, a young rider, bronze medalist, part of the Youth Nations Cup in Belgium last year for the U.S. Our first to go, and the rider aboard Omega H&DB, an 11-year-old mare by Kanan, owned by the Rendezvous Farm at Shorewood, Wisconsin. A score of 8, pair of knockdowns at the triple combination for Elise Stevens with Omega H and B. Rails at 9.8 and B, and a time of 76.931, her first reference time completing within the 79 seconds, but it is 2 knockdowns to finish on 8 for the rider out of Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin. Abigail McCardle, our next to go, originally from Illinois, now based here in Wellington, Florida. The rider aboard Olympia Van Eykenhoff, the 11-year-old mare owned by the Sweetwater Jumpers. $77,623, a first clear round of the night comes from Wellington-based rider Abigail McCardle. $77,623 reference time there on that clear round for Wellington-based rider Abigail McCardle with the 11-year-old mare Olympia Van Eykenhoff, owned by the Sweetwater Jumpers. One clear through our first two. Those first two reference times, 76.9 coming in from Elise Stevens with the 8 fault, 77.6 coming from Abigail McCardle with Olympia Van Eykenhoff. Two-time medalist in the North American Youth Jumping Championships to show next. This is Maggie Jacobs, Mount Vernon, Ohio, with the 16-year-old stallion Clyde VA, owned by Pony Up Sport Horses Limited. Single knockdown coming at the triple combination, 9B down for the second time in our first three riders. There are Maggie Jacobs at Mount Vernon, Ohio, with Clyde VA. Third and final reference time at 75.967. Home on the 4 faults for Maggie Jacobs. John McCrae are next to go, and Jonathan McCrae is aboard Chacorolino PS on by Windsor Show Stables, East Windsor, Connecticut. Yeah, John, with some excellent showings throughout the season. Saugerties, Old Salem, and Traverse City. And our next to go here, fourth in the order, the ride aboard the 10-year-old gelding by Chaco Blue. It's Windsor Show Stables, Chacorolino PS. John McCrae are fourth in the order. Second place rider from the Arthur Meta Grand Prix last week, John McCrae, finish up just the 4 faults at the Bainbridge Oxer at number 10, 76.542. That time for John McCrae in the Windsor Show Stables, Chacorolino PS. One clear through our first 4. That's Abigail McCardle with the Sweetwater Jumpers, Olympia, Van Eykenhoff, Teo Ginn. Next rider to join us on course for round 1. Teo takes up the challenge for the Double H Farm and tonight's Arion Sellier Grand Prix, partnered with a 9-year-old Dutch-bred gelding, H.H. Leandro. Teo again, our 5th in the order. $77,687, the clear round for Teo Ginn and H.H. Leandro. Our second combination to go clear, Abigail McCardle with Olympia Van Eykenhoff, and now Teo Ginn riding for the Double H Farm with H.H. Leandro. Our two clears through the first of 5 in round 1 of the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Top 50 ranked rider in the world are next to go. This is Mark Blumen with Conquer PS on over the top stables, Lake Ronkonkoma, New York. Coming off of here, wins a 5-star action at Thermal last week. The Colombian has a ride aboard the 11-year-old Oldenburg mare by Contargos. Mark Blumen, Conquer PS, are 6th to show. Mark Blumen with the clear round aboard Conquer PS, the 11-year-old mare by Contargos, owned by over the top stables, Lake Ronkonkoma, New York. 77-271 the time for the Canadian with the for the Colombian with the 11-year-old mare, becoming our 3rd to qualify for the jump-off round. Clears now from Abigail McCardle, Teo Ginn, and Colombia's Mark Blumen, one of the top 50 ranked riders in the world. Rodrigo Enriquez next. Rider representing Mexico, and tonight piloting his own entry for the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. This is the 10-year-old Belgian-bred mare Pierre Maurice by Casanova de Lopon. Just the score 6 there for Rodrigo Enriquez. A single knockdown coming at the triple combination as those butterfly fences come into play once again. 2 against the clock, exceeding the 79-second time allowed at 80.8 to 8-7. A score of 6 for Mexico's Rodrigo Enriquez and his own Pierre Maurice. Todd Menikis are next to go, and the ride aboard his own Shakun's Palace Z. The three-time President's Cup winner tonight, piloting an 8-year-old Zanger Zadamir by Shukun Blue. Todd Minikis, Shukun Balasi are 8th to show, 3 clear so far for the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. At 12 for jumping, with 22 coming against the clock as well. That time 100.5 at 22, a total of 34 tonight for Tom Minikis and Shukun Balasi. Irishman Andrew Bourne's next with Aperta Totale Dures Nova. The Irishman, winner of big Grand Prix here at Wellington International, riding tonight for Leslie Martin of Smithville, Ontario, is about a 10-year-old gelding by Comilfo. Fair knockdowns to finish on 8 for Ireland's Andrew Bourne with Aperta Totale Dures Nova, owned by Leslie Martin of Smithville, Ontario. B of the triple combination down, and also that oxer at number 13, final fence over the first round track. The time is 74.852, score of 8 for Andrew Bourne's Aperta Totale Dures Nova. Through our first 9 and 3 are clear. Abigail McCardle, Teogan, and Mark Blumen are 10th in the order. Maggie Jane with Easter Lily ODF. The rider from Elgin, Illinois, showing for the owner Alex Jane, an American warm blood mare. Her mount, the 9-year-old by Chili RZ. Easter Lily ODF, Maggie Jane, our 10th to show. Wave of the hand there from a Maggie Jane retiring around one of the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix with Alex Jane to Easter Lily Odia. Next rider to join us on course for round one, a rider from Sweden. This is Ellen Uppling and Monte Cristo. '15-year-old Dutchman gelding for Ellen Uppling tonight by Valent. Layla Stables entry, Monte Cristo, Ellen Uppling, 11th on course. $77,770. Does the 4 at 9A. That butterfly combination coming into play once again for the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Just the 4 fault slow for Sweden to Ellen Uppling and the Layla Stables Monte Cristo. Audrey Schultz up next. The rider aboard Moreno E owned by Riverbrook Sport Horses at Saddle River, New Jersey. Past Grand Prix winner here at Wellington International. 2 Grand Prix wins at the Kentucky Horse Park this season for Audrey as well. 8-year-old Dutchman gelding by Malibu, or Mount Moreno E. Audrey Schultz, her 12th to show. Single knockdown coming at number 10, the Bainbridge Oxer for Audrey Schultz and the Riverbrook Sport Horses entry Moreno E, time 77.901. Just a knockdown at number 10. Samuel Perot up next, Chilean piloting his own Tiffany Dolly. Twice representing Chile in the Olympics, Samuel tonight with the 13-year-old French-bred mare Tiffany. This is Samuel Prix. Clear round for Chile, Samuel Prix with the Tiffany to lead it. The Chilean at 76.850, becoming our fourth to qualify for the jump off. And tonight's Arion Sellier National Grand Prix, joining the list with riders Abigail McCardle, Teo Ginn, and Mark Blumen. Carly Anthony are next to go. Carly is aboard a Mullenton Shalom owned by Elon Furter. Nations Cup rider for the U.S. In fact, part of that winning Nations Cup effort here at the Winter Equestrian Festival earlier this year. Carly's mount tonight, 11-year-old Irish sport horse mare by Untouchable 27. This is Carly Anthony with Mullenton Shalom. $74,241, back-to-back clear rounds. This one coming in from the USA's Carly Anthony with the 11-year-old Irish-bred mare Mullenton Shalom, owned by Elon Furter, now giving us a total of 5 that are fault-free over the round 1 track. And tonight's Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. That'll take us to our 15th in the order, and a rider ranked in the top 100 of the world's 25 and under athletes. This is Caroline Mawhinney with her own Hallelujah, a 13-year-old Dutch red mare by VDL Sirocco Blue. Finishing on a total of 11 for Charlotte Murray and her own Magnum Z. It's 8 faults coming in the field for the 2 knockdowns, so 3 penalties against the clock with that time of 81.740. Total of 11 for Charlotte Murray and Magnum Z. We've seen 19 of what's 39 expected for round 1 of the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Clear so far, coming from Abigail McCardle, Olympia Van Eichenhoff, Teo Gannett with the Double H Farms, HH Leandro, Mark Blumen for Over the Top Stables with Conquer BS. Chile's Samuel Perot with his own Tiffany to Oleda, USA's Carly Anthony aboard Elon Furters, Melanton Shalom, and Caroline Mowini, the most recent addition to that clear list with her own Hallelujah. Those are 6 fault-free combinations through the first 19 and round 1 of our Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Discover Arion authentic French saddles dedicated to the performance and freedom of the horse and rider. Arion's mission is to provide top customer service and the ability to create the most customizable saddles on the market. Find us on our website at arion-hst.com. Let your horse feel the difference with Arion. Yeah, tonight, Greenberg Traurig proudly presents our exhibitor party. Their equine industry group represents equestrians and industry professionals on the legal matters that impact daily operations and long-term success, from real estate and contracts to employment, tax, branding, and government policy. Learn more about their commitment to the Wellington equestrian community at gtlaw.com. Now, we want to invite everyone to the annual exhibitor party in the International Club this evening for a chance to meet Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus and enjoy complimentary food and drinks. This party generously sponsored by Mike Nicodema and Greenberg Traurig. We'll take about 10 minutes here for the touch-up drag, 7:26 to get back underway with round 1 of the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Another 20 to show for round number 1.
A grueling course, executing a half pass, or galloping to the final fence. Powered by Digestive Shield for optimal gut health and rebound technology for faster recovery, ProForce supports your horse's peak performance so they're ready to dominate again. ProForce. Defend. Recover. Perform.
Nobody tells you how quickly they move into your heart, or how quietly they become your whole world. They'll teach you patience without a word, courage without a question. You're not crazy. They just don't know horses like we do.
Bainbridge is a fully integrated multi-family real estate company who have developed and acquired more than 43,000 units, representing $8.1 billion in transactions since inception. With over 650 associates nationally, Bainbridge engages in virtually every step of the real estate process, from development and construction, acquisition and disposition, asset management, and third-party management of multifamily real estate. Bainbridge is an award-winning, nationally ranked developer, owner, and builder of luxury multifamily communities across the eastern U.S. and Southeast. Our team of experienced and knowledgeable professionals is devoted to creating exceptional living experiences for all of our residents and building lasting and mutually beneficial relationships with our partners and clients. Bainbridge is headquartered in Wellington, Florida, with offices and apartment communities in Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Maryland, Texas, and Virginia. To learn more, visit www.bainbridgecompanies.com.
Just about set to get back underway with tonight's $50,000 Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Discover Arion authentic French saddles dedicated to the performance and freedom of the horse and rider. Arion's mission is to provide top customer service and the ability to create the most customizable saddles on the market. Find us on our website, arion-hst.com. 6 clear coming out of the break, Abigail McCardle with Olympia Van Dijkenhoff, Teo Ginn with HH Leandro, Mark Blumen aboard Conquer PS, SMO Pro with Tiffany, Carly Anthony, and Mullenton Shalom and Caroline Mawini with Halalea. Our 6 horse and rider combinations fault free over the round 1 track so far. And at tonight's Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Tone sound so we get back underway. Another 20 to go for round 1. And we welcome Michael Desiderio forward, our first rider to show after the midway break here for round 1 of tonight's Grand Prix. Aboard an entry jointly owned by Tranquility Farm and Backcountry Farm, the 14-year-old Belgian-bred stallion Le Muguet, and the USA's Michael Desiderio, our first of 20 remaining for round 1. Wave with the hand there, Michael Desiderio will retire in round 1 with Le Muguet. Sarah Siegler next to go, rider from Flemington, New Jersey, with Tom Hanks, owned by Horatio Street Ventures. Next combination to show coming off a double clear effort in yesterday's $10,000 Bainbridge Company's meter 40 stake. Sarah Siegel with the 11-year-old French-bred gelding by Biscay Lucy. Tom Hanks, Sarah Siegel for Horatio Street Ventures, Flemington, New Jersey. Three knockdowns to round one for Sarah Siegel and the Horatio Street Ventures entry Tom Hanks. Score of 12, time at 74-156. We've seen 21 so far, 6 are clear. Abigail McCardle with Olympia Van Eykenhoff, Teo again for the Double H Farm with HH Leandro, Mark Blumen in the over-the-top stables, Conquer BS. Chile Samuel Perot with his own Tiffany, Carly Anthony with Molenton, Shalom owned by Elon Ferder, and Caroline Mawini with Hallelujah. And tonight's Grand Prix sponsored by Arion Sellier. Discover Arion authentic French saddles dedicated to the performance and freedom of the horse and rider. Our next rider in the order this evening is Vanessa King, joining us aboard a Seaview demonstration. The ride for Capstone Show Jumpers, Lexington, Kentucky, with the 10-year-old Irish-bred gelding, Vanessa King of Chesterland, Ohio, our 22nd to show. Heads up at the gate, guys. Heads up at the gate. Heads up at the gate, guys. Heads up at the gate. Our all-star ring crew with the catch there. Happy to see our rider Vanessa King up on her feet, leaving of her own volition. Unfortunately, with the separation of horse and rider at fence number 8, no score in round one for the rider out of Chesterland, Ohio, with the 10-year-old Irish sport horse gelding Seaview demonstration. Still holding on the 6 clear for round one, Abigail McCardle, Teo Gann, Mark Blumen, Samuel Perot, Carly Anthony, and Caroline Mawini are qualifiers to this point in round one of the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Next rider to go, based here in Wellington, this is Olivia Venezio with the Flower Z, owned by the Vento Farm. 12-year-old Zangers had a mare by Farflu de Muse, Flower Z, Olivia Venezio. Next up in the order, still holding with the 6 clear. Fault's coming at 4 obstacles. It's a score of 16, round 1 for Olivia Venezio and the Vento Farms Flower Z. Still holding with the 6 clear, our 25th in the order tonight. This is Brazil's Fernanda de Gabriel with Shakura Stanco Bias. Brazilian rider attempting to qualify our 7th for the jump off the 10-year-old Oldenburg gelding by Chaco Blue. Fernanda de Gabriel, our next on course rider representing Brazil with her own Shakura Stanco Bias. $77,174. Brazil's Fernanda de Gabriel on a score of 20 for tonight's Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Still holding on the 6 clear, all on the front side of the drag brake for tonight's National Grand Prix. Our next rider on course, Ibrahim Barazi with Joy de Vigo RT. Jordanian athlete based in Leesburg, Virginia. Our next to go in tonight showing for Kristen Holloway of Washington, D.C. with the 11-year-old Dutch-bred stallion. This is Ibrahim Barazi, Joy de Vigo, RT. Knockdowns and 2 fences for Jordan's Ibrahim Razi and Joey DeVigo RT. The Oxer at the triple combination and the Bainbridge fence coming into play once again. 8 the score, 76-145 at the time after Ibrahim Razi riding for the owner Kristen Holloway of Washington, D.C. Still looking for that 7th clear as Tysa Irwin joins us. Olympic rider for Australia up next with Catherine Prinzel's Diva de Talma, Middleburg, Virginia-based rider showing a 12-year-old French-bred mare by Canaan. The Oxer down at 9B once again, and the final fence coming into play for Australia's Tysa Irwin with the Diva de Talma owned by Catherine Prenzel of Washington, D.C. 74-383 the time with a score of 8 for the Olympian. Still holding with the 6 clear, all on the front side of the break. Abigail McCardle with Olympia Teo Ginn and HH Leandro Mark Blumen aboard Conquer PS. Samuel Perot and Tiffany. Carly Anthony with Mulantan Shalom and Caroline Mawini with Hallelujah. Still holding with those 6 qualifiers. Belgian rider Peter de Brabander up next for Martin Huygens with the Universum Z. Already a winner here in the holiday season, and the Belgian rider aboard a 9-year-old Zangers out of Gelding, owned by Wellington-based owner Martin Huygens. This is Peter de Brabander, Universum Z. The total 9A. And the Bainbridge Oxer at number 10, 77-834 with a score of 8 for Belgium's Peter de Brabander and Universum Z. Francisco Goyoaga to join us on course next with PST Demuse. Went to venues all across the country this year for the Spanish rider, including here in Wellington, and tonight with the ride for Sigma Stables in Ocala, Florida, with the 10-year-old Belgian-bred mare, PST Demuse. Our first of 12 still to go, still holding on 6 clear for round 1 of the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Giving us our first clear in 14 rounds as Francisco Goyoaga, our 7th to qualify for the jump off with the Sigma Stables PST Demuse on the fall free effort there, 74-254. The Spaniard joins Caroline Mawini, Carly Anthony, Samuel Perot, Mark Bloom, and Teo Ginn, and Abigail McCardle as our clears so far. So sounding for Bridgehampton, New York-based rider Laura Bowery, and an entry from Sea Air Incorporated, the 13-year-old says Zangers at a gelding El Dorado WPZ by El Dorado Vendas Ishika, first of 11 so to go. We're now on 7 clear. And the 2 knockdowns and the refusal is 12 for jumping. And additional 18 penalties on the clock. Time 96-448 for Laura Bowery. And Sea Air Incorporated entry El Dorado WPZ, a total of 30 for the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. 7 clear with another 10 to get the start for round 1 of tonight's $50,000 competition. And we're back to Brazil with our next competitor. This is Gabriel dos Santos Machado with Qatar. A McLean Ward-owned entry. Our next to go, the Brazilian, showing the 9-year-old Belgian-bred gelding by Kanan Carter. And Brazil's Gabriel dos Santos Machado, first to 10. $75,800 to $83, qualifying the Brazilian Gabriel dos Santos Machado with the McLean Awards at Qatar. Brazilian becoming our 8th to qualify for the jump-off round with the 9-year-old Belgian-bred gelding owned by McLean Ward out of Brewster, New York. Gabriel dos Santos Machado with the Qatar. Back-to-back for Brazil, and this rider returning on their 2nd mount of the evening. This is Michel Feitosa, New York City-based rider tonight, showing for the Trefoil Farm with his 2nd mount of the Norfolk, Connecticut-based ownership of the 8-year-old Irish sport horse gelding by Conair. This is BP Nikita, 2nd ride for Brazil's Michel Feitosa. $76,987. Pair knockdowns coming late over the round 1 track. The Bainbridge Oxer at 10. Dover Sadlery Oxer at 11 for Brazil's Michel Feitosa, riding for the Trefoil Farm, Norfolk, Connecticut, with a BP Nikita. 8 qualifying for the jump off. Another 8 to show for round 1 of the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. This is Emily Routledge and Mr. Jones up next. Back to Great Britain for our next combination. Emily Routledge showing her own entry. A gelding by Comilfo, the 8-year-old Dutch-bred Mr. Jones, and the owner Emily Routledge, first of 8 remaining. Just the front rail at the final fence there for Great Britain's Emily Routledge and her own 8-year-old Dutch red gelding, Mr. Jones, 75.615. The time that is our fastest to 4 falter in the first round. The British athlete goes into 9th behind our 8 that are qualified to the jump off so far, with another 7 on our start list for round 1 of the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Mia Bagnato are next to go with Balios Kill Big Bucks, owned by the Elon Farm at Newark, New Jersey. Three-time medalist at the North American Youth Jumping Championships, the world's number 34 ranked U25 rider are next to go, are mount a 12-year-old Irish sport horse gelding by Royal Concord for the Elon Farm. This is Mia Bagnato with Balios Kill Big Bucks. Clear round for the number 34 ranked U25 rider in the world, Mia Bagnato, and the Elon Farms of Balios Kill Big Bucks, 72.950 for Mia, and our 9th rider to qualify for the jump-off round in the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix this evening. 6 on the front side of the break, 3 since our midway mark here for round number 1. We have another 6 to show before we set for the jump-off. Canada represented next, Gavin Moylan with us aboard Memphis, owned by Gavin Moylan Stables, Middleburg, Virginia. 8-year-old Dutch-bred gelding by Glenfiddich and VDL, the first of our 6 remaining entries. $78-69, and it's a score of 8. Bainbridge Oxer once again down at fence number 10, and the Dover Saddlery Oxer at number 11 for Gavin Moylan and the Gavin Moylan Stables entry, Memphis, score B. To Ireland for our next combination, this is a Jenny Rankin with a Dawson's Trend, owned by the Trinity Partners. Ireland's Jenny Rankin with wins here throughout the season in Oliva and Brussels are next to go. The first of our 5 remaining competitors for round 1 aboard a 9-year-old Irish-bred gelding by Future Trend. For the Trinity Partners, Jenny Rankin with a Dawson's Trend, first of 5. Clear it is for Ireland's Jenny Rankin and the Trinity Partners Dawson's Trend at 75.448 to our 10th combination to go on the short list for the jump off in tonight's Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Pablo Mejia, our next to go, and the rider aboard Long Tender for the Colombian. This combination with top placings here during our holiday season at Wellington International. The Colombian shares ownership of his mount tonight with the Newsprint Farm 9-year-old Dutch-bred gelding by Up to Date. Heartbreak at the final fence for the Colombian Pablo Mejia with his and the Newsprint Farms Long Tender. Just the 4 at fence number 1377, 385 the time. Just missing out on the jump off of there and becoming our 11th to qualify. So we're still holding with the 10, another 3 to go. And our next rider up, top 50 ranked rider in the world, Mark Blumen, already with 1 on our clear list tonight, going fault-free with the over-the-top stables entry Conquer PS. Second mount for the Colombian, owned by Norma Coelho of San Francisco, California. 10-year-old Oldenburg Stallion, Flying McQueen, and Colombia's Mark Blumen, our first of 3 remaining. Back rail down at the final fence. Scoring the 4 at number 13 for Mark Blumen. So close to qualifying its second mount for the jump off in our Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. 76.445 with the 4 faults. It just misses out on the ribbons as well. Goes into 13th for the Colombian. But we will see Mark back in the jump off with his first mount called Care to PS, owned by Over the Top Stables. Our third in a row for Colombia. Up next is Andrea Torres and Picara Polka Amurata. Colombian owner rider, the first of our 2 remaining competitors for the round 1 edition of the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. A 10-year-old Belgian-bred mare by Canan, Picara Polka Amurata, and Colombia's Andrea Torres. Uh, 12 in the field, step backwards before 9A, and then knockdowns at 10 and 13. 3 on the clock for a total of 15 with 12 jumping, 3 for time at 81.574. Colombia's Andrea Torres and our own Picara Polka Amurata. That'll take us to Canada's Haley Mercer, our final rider for round 1 of the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix with her own Crown Royal. Canadian rider based in Langley, British Columbia, will be our final to tour the first round track of the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Haley Mercer aboard her own Canadian sport horse, gelding the 14-year-old Bob Bling. This is Crown Royal. Haley Mercer wrapping us up for round 1. Haley Mercer retiring with the Crown Royal for round one of the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. And we wrap up round number one with 10 combinations going fault-free over the Catsy Cruise designed course. We'll recap those clears and the order in which they'll return for the jump-off round this evening. It'll be the USA's Abigail McCardle back first for the Sweetwater jumpers with Olympia Van Eykenhoff. Then we'll see Teo Ginn riding for the Double H Farm with H.H. Leandro, our second on the jump-off list. Top 50 ranked rider, Colombia's Mark Blumen going at third for over the top stables with Conquer PS. Chile's Samuel Perot and his own Tiffany de Olid are fourth in the callback order. That'll be followed up by the USA's Carly Anthony and Elon Ferders Molentine Shalom. Caroline Mowini with her own Halelea. Spain's Francisco Goyoaga riding for Sigma Stables with PST de Muse. Brazil's Gabriel de Matos Machado, eighth on the jump-off list with McLean Ward to Cotter. Mia Bagnato, number 34 in the U25 has standings with the Elan Farms Baliaskill Big Bucks, our penultimate combination for the jump-off. Jenny Rankin, representing Ireland, will get our final crack at the short track, riding for the Trinity Partners with a Dawson's Trend. Those are 10 qualified for the jump-off. The order in which they will return for the $50,000 Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Discover Arion, authentic French saddles dedicated to the performance and freedom of the horse and rider. Arion's mission is to provide top customer service and the ability to create the most customizable saddles on the market. Find us on our website at arion-hst.com. Let your horse feel the difference with Arion. We'll take about 10 minutes here. 8:25, we'll get back underway with the jump-off round. 10 to compete over the short track in our Arion Sellier National Grand Prix.
Okay, I'm gonna place it back. Alright, let me place it back.
We're 2 minutes away from picking back up here in the international ring with the jump-off round for the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. A look at the video board, and we will review the jump-off course for tonight's bonus round in our $50,000 competition. Jump-off round starts by the gate at that purple Arthur mid-oxer. From there, it's a right-hand turn coming to fence number 5, that Palm Beach Equine Clinic vertical. What's left of the double combination at 6A will be the third fence over the jump-off track. From there, a left-hand turn to the Arion pillars, now jumping the opposite direction. Number 2 for round 1, number 15 for the jump-off. The turn around the gazebo to what's left of the triple combination, at the oxer at 9B to the vertical at 9C. Then a right-hand turn rolling back to a fence being introduced for the jump-off round is number 16, the Brain Java vertical with the big black wings, and then finishing over fence number 13 to wrap up the jump-off round, that black oxer with the white rails. Again, the jump-off track fences 4, 5, 6A, 15, 9BC, 16, and finishing over number 13. Again, we'd like to thank our title sponsor for tonight's $50,000 National Grand Prix, Arion Sellier. Discover Arion authentic French saddles dedicated to the performance and freedom of the horse and rider. A look up at the video board will show our jump-off qualifiers for tonight. The 10 to return, competing for their lion's share of $50,000 in prize money. Abigail McCardle going first, followed up by Teo Ginn, Mark Blumen third on the jump-off list, Samuel Perot batting fourth, Carly Anthony fifth, Caroline Mawini sixth, Francisco Goyoaga seventh on the jump-off order, and our final three, Brazil's Gabriel de Matos Machado, Mia Bagnato, and Ireland's Jenny Rankin. Those are 10 to come back for the jump-off in tonight's $50,000 Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Gates up, and our first to return for the jump-off round is back. We welcome forward the USA's Abigail McCardle, our first to navigate the course without fault in round 1 of tonight's Grand Prix. She'll get the first shot at the jump-off track and an opportunity to put the pressure on the rest of the field. The Wellington-based rider aboard an 11-year-old Belgian-bred mare owned by the Sweetwater Jumpers. First of our 10 in the jump-off, Abigail McCardle with Olympia Van Dykenhoff. Just the 4 faults in the jump-off round, knocked down coming at the title fence, title sponsor fence, the Arion vertical at number 15 with the 4 faults, 36 at 6:56. The time there for Abigail McCardle riding for Sweetwater Jumpers with Olympia Van Dykenhoff. That'll take us to our second on the callback list. This is Teo Ginn, rider for the Double H Farm with a 9-year-old gelding, H.H. Leandro. So close to going double clear tonight. Teo again and the 9-year-old Dutch-bred gelding H.H. Leandro, owned by the Double H Farm, catching the front rail at the final fence over the jump off the track. Will score the 4 at number 13 at 38.384. That time for Teo again and H.H. Leandro. That'll take us to Colombia's Mark Blumen, and number 50 in the world is standings. The rider over the top stables, Lake Ronkonkoma, New York, with Conquer PS, our third of 10 combinations for the jump off. $35,593, just the 4 in the jump off that Palm Beach Equine Clinic vertical at number 5 down for Colombia's Mark Blumen, and over the top stables entry Conquer PS. All 3 of our first competitors over the jump off track finishing on 4 faults. Mark Blumen, the fastest of those at 35,593, so leading through 3 of the 10 on the jump off list, the Canadian in the over the top stables entry. 2-time Olympic rider Samuel Perot up next. That Chilean aboard his own Tiffany Duo leader, 4th of 10 for the jump off. Currently leading a score of 4 and a time of 35,593. First to go double clear, and our fastest over the jump off track tonight so far, Chile's Samuel Perot with his own Tiffany Duo lead at 35.201. The Chilean takes the lead through 4 of the 10 in the jump off for the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Next to challenge the USA's Carly Anthony with Mullenton Shalom, an 11-year-old Irish-bred mare owned by Elon Furter, our 5th of 10 for the jump off. Time to beat is 35.201, just coming in from Chile, Samuel Perot with Tiffany. Clear and quicker over the jump off track by a 1.5 seconds of the USA's Carly Anthony with Elon Furter's Mullenton Shalom now leading halfway through the jump off round at 33.783. Samuel Perot goes into 2nd with Tiffany Duo lead, and Mark Blumen as our fastest of 4 faulter in the jump off round, currently in 3rd with Conquer PS. Abigail McCardle in 4th now with Olympia Van Eichenhoff, Teo Ginn, and a 5th with H.H. Leandro. Tonight's $50,000 National Grand Prix sponsored by Arion Sellier. Discover Arion authentic French saddles dedicated to the performance and freedom of the horse and rider. Arion's mission is to provide top customer service and the ability to create the most customizable saddles on the market. You can find us on our website at arion-hst.com. Let your horse feel the difference with Arion. Little impromptu midway break here in the jump-off round. Carly Anthony, we just watched take over the lead by a second and a half at 33.783 with Elon Furter's Mullenton Shalom giving us a new leading time and a short-lived lead for Chile Samuel Perot with Tiffany Duolid, who now sits in second place on a double clear effort at 35.201. It's Colombia's Mark Blumen currently third as our fastest four-faulter with Conquer PS. Caroline Moeni, the next to challenge over the jump-off track, and the U.S. competitor aboard the 13-year-old Dutch-bred mare Halalea. Caroline Moeni, time to beat is 33.783. Double clear tonight, 36.246 for the USA's Caroline Moeni, taking over third in the standings with the 13-year-old mare Halalea, Vidiel Zorroco Blue. Carly Anthony leading with Mullenton Shalom, Samuel Perot, Tiffany Duolid in second. Caroline Moeni takes over third with Halalea. We've seen 6 of the 10 for the jump-off, top 3 double clear. Our next to go, Spain's Francisco Goyaga for the Sigma Stables, Ocala, Florida, with PST de Muse. Leading time is 33.783. $33,341, new leader coming in, Spain's Francisco Goyoaga for the Sigma Stables, Ocala, Florida, with PST de Muse, 0.4 of a second quicker than Carly Anthony, who moves into second with Elon Furter's Mullenton Shalom. Chile Samuel Perot now in the third with his own Tiffany Duolid. Lead now with Spain's Francisco Goyoaga and PST de Muse with another 3 to go over the jump-off track. New target time, new rider on course. This is Brazil's Gabriel de Matos Machado with Cotter, owned by McLean Ward, Brewster, New York. Time to beat is 33.341. 38-144, clear over the jump-off track there for Gabriel de Montes Machado with the McLean Ward entry. 38-144 and clear, good enough for 5th at this point for the Brazilian. Spain's Francisco Goyoaga still leads with PST de Muse, Carly Anthony and Molintan Shalom in 2nd, and Samuel Pro, Tiffany de Olid in 3rd. Next to challenge, USA's Mia Bagnato, number 34 ranked U25 rider with the Alon Farms of Baleon Skill Big Bucks. 33-341 is the time to catch. Faults coming at 3 fences. It's 2 knockdowns and a refusal over the jump off track with the 2 penalties added for time. 44, 8:32, 12 in the field, 2 on the clock for a total of 14 for Mia Bagnato with Baleasco Big Bucks owned by the Alon Farm. Newark, New Jersey goes into 9th for the young US rider with just the 1 remaining in the jump off round for the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. That rider representing Ireland and showing for the Trinity Partners with the 9-year-old Irish sport horse gelding Dawson's Trin. This is Ginny Rankin, our final to challenge. Time to beat 33-341, posted by Francisco Goyoaga and PST de Muse. To finish in 4th tonight, great effort for Ireland's Ginny Rankin with the Dawson's Trin owned by the Trinity Partners, double clear 35-6-6-0 over the jump off a track for the Irish rider to post a top 5 finish for the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Francisco Goyoaga will take the top call for the Sigma Stables, Ocala, Florida, with PST de Muse's 2nd award will go to the USA's Carly Anthony, with Molintan Shalom owned by Elon Furter. 3rd for Chile's Samuel Pro, and Tiffany de Olid. Ginny Rankin 4th for the Trinity Partners with Dawson's Trin. Caroline Moweni, 5th award tonight with her own Hallelujah. Brazil's Gabriel de Montes Machado riding for McLean Ward in 6th with the cutter. Our fastest 4 falter, Mark Blumen takes 7th with Conquer PS owned by Over the Top Stables. 8th award to Abigail McCardle with the Sweetwater Jumpers Olympia. Van Eyck and Hoff Ninth place honors to Teo Ginn, riding for the Double H Farm with HH Leandro Mio Bagnato in 10th for the Alon Farm with Baliaskill Big Bucks. Fastest 4 from the first round is Great Britain's Emily Routledge in 11th with her own Mr. Jones, and rounding out the Ribbons in 12th, Maggie Jacobs of Mount Vernon, Ohio with Clyde VA, owned by Pony Up Sport Horses Limited. We'll take a look up at the Jumbotron for our winning round in tonight's Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. And the head-to-head look at our top 2 finishers on the night. Your winner on the left is Spain's Francisco Goyoaga. Our runner-up on the right, the USA's Carly Anthony with PST Demuse and Mullenton Shalom, respectively. Our top 2 finishers in tonight's Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Bringing back our top 3 for the Grand Prix this evening. Chile's Samuel Pro takes 3rd place honors, returning aboard his own Tiffany de Olida, the 2-time Olympic rider for Chile, aboard a 13-year-old French-bred mare. 3rd award on the double clear effort at 35.201. Congratulations to Chile's Samuel Pro. Next, we bring forward our 2nd place combination, briefly holding the lead, just missing that winning time by 0.4 of a second. Congratulations to the USA's Carly Anthony, the ride for Elon Furter this evening with Mullenton Shalom. Carly's jump-off time at 33.783, taking 2nd place and picking up the red rosette for the U.S. athlete. And our winner to come forward for photos now. He adds another victory to his 2025 calendar year totals. Congratulations to Spain's Francisco Goyoaga, the ride for Sigma Stables with PST Demuse. 10-year-old Belgian-bred mare owned by the ownership group in Ocala, Florida. Spain's Francisco Goyoaga, the best in a field of 40 for tonight's Arion Sellier National Grand Prix with a time of 33.341. Leading the lap of honor, your best combination in the field for the Arion Sellier National Grand Prix. Congratulations again to Francisco Goyoaga, the win with PST Demuse, owned by Sigma Stables. Your combination leading the victory gallop. Carly Anthony follows in 2nd with Elon Furter's Mullenton Shalom. Chile Samuel Perot takes it 3rd with his own Tiffany de Olida. But tonight, the win goes to Spain. Job well done. Congratulations again to our top 3. Chile Samuel Perot takes the 3rd place honors with Tiffany de Olida. 2nd award goes to Carly Anthony with Mullenton Shalom. And Spain's Francisco Goyoaga picks up another win for 2025 aboard PST Demuse.